Vamos a ver con nunca me sale aquí.
Good evening to you. I received some homework on resolution. I corrected and sent them back. I don't know what prevented others from submitting homework. Homework is a compulsory practice. When you are spending money and joining a class, you have to take the fullest advantage. Whatever I give, you should ask for more. It is surprise that many of you prefer not to submit homework. Some background I will let you know. I joined Government of India service as LDC and became UDC, then assistant, then SO, then AD. During my career, whatever work they gave, sometimes they sent me for interrogation of suspects in the airport. I never said, no, I belong to ministerial cadre. I'll not go. Sometimes they gave extraordinary sensitive work. I never said no. They took me to ministerial meetings. They asked me to cover commission of inquiries. And I did all that. Ultimately, I was the first case in the 108 years history of my department. I was the first case recommended for Indian Police Medal, for which I was not entitled. But my case was the first one, non-entitled category. My name was recommended, and ultimately I got it. On the Independence Day of year 2000, I got this. And when I appeared in the examination, SO examination, I stood first. I stood first in that. Why I am telling all this? Because I wanted to become SO, because that is the only chance. उसके बाद आप प्रूव करके SO नहीं बन सकते हैं. You can wait for your turn. आपको routine promotion आ सकता है. उसमें you may lose a lot of seniority. This is the only chance. You write this exam, get through the exam, then automatically further 2 promotions you may expect. So you have chosen to join a class. You are attending a class. I don't know, all of you are attending because except Vandana, everybody's video is off. I don't know whether you are actually switching on and then going away for dinner. To sincerity, I wrote 3 books, and what I wanted, I was not familiar with the language. I was not good in English. So I was a Tamil medium student. I joined the department. I studied further. I studied law. I studied post-graduation in my public administration and many diplomas, postgraduate diploma. All these things I wanted to develop myself. And ultimately, Delhi में ऐसा कोई training institute नहीं है where I was not called for a lecture. DRDO में, Defense Ministry में, IB में, CBI में, and so many, MEA, Munir ka, MEA में, All these people sent a requisition letter to my boss in the CBI. Spare Mr. Sivaprakasam for a lecture. And in my own intelligence bureau training school, where local police officers from various states used to attend, I have given about 150 lectures on national terrorism and international terrorism. A student from a very poor background, not having enough knowledge of the foreign language, I could write 3 compendium in the department, sensitive compendiums, not to be published outside, and 3 books for your SO examination. All these things were possible because you have to develop yourself. SO बनना है तो बनना ही है. Somebody asked, sir, this is my first attempt. ऐसा कोई नहीं होता है. That should be the only attempt. Some people ask me, sir, there are only 7 vacancies in our. You are only one person, you require only 1 vacancy, and 7 vacancy is too much for you. You have to aim for that 1 vacancy to get yourself accommodated there. उसके लिए आपको थोड़ा सा इंस्ट्रक्शंस फॉलो करना होगा, थोड़ा सा मेहनत करना होगा. इट इज आफ्टर ऑल फॉर योर ओन अपलिफ्टमेंट. क्लास ही कितना दिन का होता है? इट इज ओनली 2.5 महीना का होता है. वो उतना तक आप अपने लिए ये नहीं कर सकते हैं. यू कैन नॉट स्पेयर दैट मच टाइम. आई वंडर. But that is the case, and we are drawing to a close. I'll be conducting 2 more rules. TA, then leave. That's all. Thereafter, there will be UPSC type 2 more tests. 1 noting drafting test on 12th. Afterwards, another objective type on general studies. Another objective type test, just like UPSC pattern. That is on rules. That's all. So I'm very sorry. आप लोग इसको इतना ध्यान नहीं देते. Okay, before going to the next subject, I'll explain to you. The next form of communication. Press communique or press note. This form is used when it is proposed to give wide publicity to a decision of Government of India through media. A press communique is issued where matter is to be published as per the text given by the issuing authority, while a press note, on the other hand, is intended to serve as a handout to the press, which may be edited, compressed, or enlarged by the respective press or media channel. Press note और press communique दोनों एक ही बात है. Anything you may send a press communique or you may send a press note to the press information officer. He will take care to send it to so many other newspapers and other medias, TV, etc., and requesting them to give wide publicity. That is the purpose of this. So when you have taken a policy decision, you want to give very wide publicity, or you have appointed a committee, you have appointed a commission, then you give this information to the press. Here in the resolution, just now we saw, the Government of India proposes to, it has been decided to set up सेटअप नहीं हुआ है. The government of India has taken a decision to set up a commission of inquiry. लेकिन press information or press note, it has means government of India has set up a commission or committee. उसके लिए press note हो सकता है. Then there is import policy. You are giving wide, only basmati rice will export. We will not export other items. Or the government of India have decided to open Jan Aushdalai क्या है? That is people's chemists. तो मेडिसिन बेचने के लिए at a much reduced rate. ऐसा एक डिसीजन लिया गया है. The government of India takes certain decisions and gives wide publicity. उसके लिए ये इस्तेमाल होता है. What is the difference between communique, press communique and press note? Press communique means whatever is given by the government, you have to publish as such. उसको कम बिजी नहीं कर सकता है. You cannot cut down, you cannot reduce, you cannot modify, you cannot expand. ऐसे पब्लिश करना है प्रेस कम्युनिके. एंड प्रेस नोट कैसा होता है? प्रेस नोट यू कैन मॉडिफाई, एनलार्ज, reduce, and one full page of information is given in the press note that can be reduced in one small column, single column. All these you can do if it is a press note. So that is one. The matter is one and the same, format one and the same. Only thing here in the namuna, I will give press communique oblique press note. लेकिन जब आपको ये क्वेश्चन आता है यूपीएससी एग्जाम में, राइट ए प्रेस नोट, उस समय यू शुड नॉट राइट प्रेस कम्युनिके ऑब्लिक प्रेस नोट, यू हैव टू राइट प्रेस नोट. If they ask in the question, write or draft a press communique, then you will write only press communique, not note. So that is, otherwise format etc. the same. Now, when we wrote the resolution, we put it in the bracket DFA के बाद to be published. ऐसे शुरू कर रहे थे. Here in press note you will write not to be published, not to be published or broadcast before such and such time. You will not know the time, so you will simply write dash AM oblique PM on the dash day 2024. ऐसा एक not to be published, that is press note आपके पास पहुंच जाता है well in advance. Suppose कल publish करना है, so आज नहीं करना है, because it is being considered. हर एक कैबिनेट मीटिंग में suppose agriculture ministry, farmers welfare, वो that ministry is sending a press sending a proposal for approval of cabinet. एक कैबिनेट नोट भेजते हैं, उसके साथ एक प्रेस नोट भी भेजना होता है. Why? They will have to treat, they will have to think that the proposal we are sending for cabinet's approval will be approved. Once approved, this press note will go to the press. But all the press, all the media should publish only by 5 PM of this day. उससे पहले नहीं, एक प्रीवियस डे में, एक नेक्स्ट डे में, ऐसा नहीं पब्लिश ना करना है. So there is a stipulation of the time not to be published before this. So that we have to start with that. Suppose there is a question. कल एक होमवर्क जो दिया गया था, a committee is being set up. Government of India has decided to set up a committee to look into the sexual harassment cases and remedial measures. इसके बारे में a number of terms of reference इसके साथ, उसी के ऊपर वो सेटअप करने का proposal है. So that time this notice is not issued. On the same matter, once that commission or committee is appointed, then they will send this press note. Such a committee has been appointed for this purpose. सो उसमें जो भी मसाला है उसको इसमें डालना है, बट नॉट इन दी एंटायरिटी, पूरा इधर वॉमिट नहीं करना है, ओनली इन समरी, बिकॉज मार्क देखना है। मार्क उसको प्रेस रिसोल्यूशन का मार्क 25 और 20 इतना मार्क मिलता है, बट प्रेस कम्युनिके का 10 से ज्यादा नहीं मिलेगा। सो उतना ही रिड्यूस कंडेंस करके इधर लिखना होता है। देन सेम आई विल गिव अ होमवर्क, यू राइट ए प्रेस नोट ऑन दैट रिजोल्यूशन क्वेश्चन, सारा मसाला उसमें है, उसमें देकर इधर क्या क्या लेना है उसको लेकर इधर प्रेस नोट बनाना है। सर देखिए, इन रिस्पॉन्स टू पब्लिक डिमांड द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया हैव अपॉइंटेड, दिस इज द डिफरेंस, there it is decided, it has decided, government of India has decided to appoint, aisa that was yet to happen. Here after appointment of that commission or committee, this is coming. In response to public demand, the government of India have appointed a commission of inquiry to go into the problem of, उस क्वेश्चन में जो है वो लिखना है, and make suitable recommendations to the government, that's all. Then commission will consist of, वो चेयरमैन का नाम इधर दे देना है, बाकी मेंबर्स का बिलो नीचे देना है। द कमीशन विल कंसिस्ट ऑफ श्री सो एंड सो एज चेयरपर्सन एंड द फॉलोइंग एज मेंबर्स 1 2 3, उसमें जो भी है वो मेंबर का नाम लिख देना है। देन in making its recommendation, the commission is expected to give consideration to the following matters, that is the terms of reference. तो उसमें जितना भी है उसको ब्रीफ में, सारा कुछ इसमें नहीं लिखना है, बिकॉज उतना वैल्यू नहीं है, इट इज नॉट वर्थ, सो यू शुड नॉट राइट एंटायर टर्म्स ऑफ रेफरेंस, यू विल हैव टू राइट ओनली ए फ्यू सेंटेंसेस एंड दैट टू इन ए समरी फॉर्म। उसके बाद 4th पैराग्राफ, वो जो दी कमीशन विल डिवाइस इट्स ओन प्रोसीजर वगैरह होगा, वो नहीं, ओनली कितना समय में ये रिपोर्ट ये करना है, सबमिट करना है, ओनली दैट विल बी देयर। That is, the commission is expected to submit the report to the government by, suppose you want to give 3 months, you will write by, now it is October, by October, November, December, by 31st of December 2024, ऐसा करके इस जोड़ना है। Then ministry इधर आता है, from address मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ सच एंड सच मंत्रालय, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया वगैरह नहीं होता है। देन न्यू दिल्ली दी नंबर, इधर नंबर आता है, दिस इज द ओनली डिफरेंस। देन फॉरवर्डेड टू द प्रिंसिपल इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफिसर, प्रेस इंफॉर्मेशन ब्यूरो, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, न्यू दिल्ली, फॉर इश्यूइंग द कम्युनिकेशन एंड गिविंग इट वाइड पब्लिसिटी। सो दिस इज एबीसी जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी, वो उसमें क्वेश्चन में होता है to be signed by secretary, joint secretary, whatever it is there. This is all you have to do. I'll give a homework briefly, 3 पेज का उसमें resolution में जो आया है, this is only for 1 single page. Okay, so that is one more form of communication. Now we are going back to TA. When the train service between 2 stations is interrupted by floods, strike, etc., the station should be regarded for the time being as not connected by rail, and full road mileage may be drawn in all cases without any restriction. अगर टेम्परली किसी कारण से ट्रेन सर्विस डिस्टर्ब हो गया, then it should be construed that it is not connected by rail. Then accordingly we have to apply the rule. Taxi charges can be allowed for a journey on tour between residence, duty point, and railway station, airport, only if the official is residing within the municipal limits of the of its headquarters. Suppose you are sent on tour to Meerut, Mumbai. So you are going by air. So from residence to airport, you are entitled for taxi fare. Suppose you are living in Ghaziabad, you are taking flight from New Delhi airport. So taxi fare is not entitled from Ghaziabad to airport. It will be from North Block. Suppose your office is in North Block, then from office to airport, only that much. That will be restricted. Suppose it is within the municipal limits, so then you will get that taxi fare. In case the official resides outside municipal limits of headquarters, reimbursement of taxi scooter charges has to be restricted to the expenditure which would have been incurred had the journey been undertaken from the duty point to the nearest railway station or airport. Then travel entitlements, टेबल 1, टेबल 2, टेबल 3 ऐसा बोल के कई चीज का टेबल है, उसको केयरफुली देख लेना. Travel entitlements while on tour or training within the country with effect from 1/7/2017. 14, level 14 and above. business class AC train का entitlement दिया हुआ है, उसको देख लीजिएगा. Government officials are allowed to travel by premium trains, premium Tatkal trains, Suvidha trains, the reimbursement to premium Tatkal charges for booking of tickets, and the reimbursement of dynamic flexi fare in Satabdi, Rajdhani, Duronto trains, which on official tour training, while on official tour or training. Reimbursement of Tatkal Seva charges, which has fixed fare, will continue to be allowed. ये सारा देखना है. In case of places not connected by rail, travel by AC bus for all those entitled. AC 2 टायर में travel करने वाला सबको entitlement जिसको है, उनको AC बस में जाने का. Suppose one is not entitled for AC 2 टायर and above, only AC 3 टायर and below, then उनके लिए deluxe bus, ordinary bus इसका fare. In case of road travel between places connected by rail, travel by any means of public transport is allowed. Connected by rail, एक जगह Delhi to Jammu, आपको टूर में जो this is connected by train, but you prefer to go by road, then it will be restricted to rail fare. In case of non-availability, suppose I am entitled for AC 2 टायर, but there is no accommodation available, reservation band hai, that is full hai. So I cannot go for AC first class. I can avail AC 3 टायर में जा सकते हैं और class में जा सकते हैं, but not higher class. Then mileage allowance for journeys by road, उसका ये table wherever it is connected by all places where specific rates have been prescribed. Specific rate either by central government or by state government, उसको follow करना है road journey के लिए. At places where no specific rates have been prescribed either by the Directorate of Transport of the concerned state or of the neighboring states. Suppose you are going to travel in Gujarat, you are going to travel in Gujarat on tour, but the Gujarat government has not notified any rate for their employees. In that case, if you find some such order in the neighboring state of Rajasthan, then you can use that and for claim. Suppose ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, not in the state where you are going to travel or by the neighboring state, there is no prescribed rate for road journey. In that case, for journeys performed in own car or taxi, 24 rupees per kilometer. For journeys performed by auto rickshaw, own scooter, etc., 12 rupees per kilometer. Sharing of auto taxi. For travel by shared taxi, shared auto, the entitlement will be the actual share limited to half the mileage, otherwise admissible. Suppose you are going by common taxi, वो शेयर टैक्सी बोला जाता है, शेयर ऑटो बोला जाता है. उसमें ये that entire, suppose I am going from Arkepuram to North Block, the auto fare maybe 200 rupees. In case it is a share auto, then 10 लोग उसके अंदर घुस जाएंगे. So each will pay only 20 rupees or 10 rupees. So in such cases, for travel by shared taxi, shared auto, the entitlement will be actual share limited to half of the mileage. Mileage allowance कितना मिलता है उसको half. Mileage allowance क्या होगा? Local bus होगा. Local bus fare के बाद otherwise actual amount paid to the share auto. Journey by Tonga, etc. Tonga, auto rickshaw, cycle rickshaw, and man-driven rickshaw are equated to journey by scooter or motorcycle. For travel by a friend's scooter as a pillion rider, the amount admissible will be half the prescribed rate or the actual cost of propulsion, whichever is less. आप जो भी क्लाइम करते हैं तो माइलेज जो रेट रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट का दिया हुआ है प्रीवियस टेबल पर उसमें 50% मिलेगा. Reservation charges for seat, sleeper, berth are reimbursable. आपस berth का reservation होता है, so that charges will be reimbursed. Internet e-ticketing charges, yes, reimbursable. Conveyance charges for collecting ticket. Authorized agents will be there for air ticket and railway station, that reservation office. उधर जाके collect करके ले आने के लिए that conveyance will be admissible. Agency charges. Suppose they are Ashoka Hotel and they will book ticket for you. Then they will charge this agency charge. That you are entitled to claim. Service tax, education says, yes, it is reimbursable. Cancellation charge, if the cancellation of a ticket already reserved, that is due to public, that is in public interest, the cancellation happens. The दफ्तर का ऑर्डर है, इसको the trip is cancelled. In that case, ticket cancel करने से cancellation charge आपको reimburse हो जाएगा. Facilitation fee ऐसा बोल के कोई travel agency पहले लेता था, पहले admissible था, now it is stopped. No facilitation fee will be reimbursed. TA for attendant, escort during tour training. Suppose handicapped senior officer is traveling on tour, उसके साथ एक attendant का entitlement है, that person is entitled for road mileage. Then TA to probationers on training. That means when a probationer is sent for training, to go to the training center, no TA. During the training, they are taken to some other places. Yeah, for everybody it is free. For you, if you are a probationer, then you will have to meet the cost. So onward journey के लिए नहीं, internal training का duration पर कोई भी charges है वो pay करना है, वापस successful completion के बाद वापस आते हैं उनको वो मिलेगा. Then TA for participating in competition events in music, dance and drama. ये ordinary case के लिए नहीं, national and international events के लिए this is admissible. For participating in events conducted by Central Civil Services Cultural and Sports Board, CCS, CSB, traveling allowance is allowed as on tour. Tour TA is allowed to participate in sports events and tournaments of national or international importance. Daily allowance. अभी तक जो देखा है, that is mileage allowance. So transportation related. Now daily allowance. वो stay खाने पे ना. That is daily allowance. Daily allowance is a uniform allowance for each day of absence from headquarters on duty at a place beyond a radius of 8 kilometers, which is intended to cover the ordinary daily charges incurred by government servant in consequence of such absence while on tour. तो daily कुछ expenditure तो होता ही है. If you are on tour to some other station other than your headquarters, then you have to spend additional amount. खर्च होता ही है. To meet that expenses, daily allowance is given. Rate of daily allowance is इतना table में, this table you have to remember. इस टेबल में भी द टॉप में जो 14 लेवल 14 एंड अबव उसके लिए क्या रेट है, एंड द लेवल 6 to 8 तो अपना लेवल है, तो उसका क्या रेट है, ये सारा, ये दोनों एटलीस्ट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर. Rate of daily allowance from 1/7/2017, daily allowance is paid as reimbursement of hotel, traveling and food charges based on per day basis and depends on absence from headquarters subject to prescribed limits. वो लिमिट क्या है? सपोज 6 to 8 लेवल 6 to 8 में एक आदमी टूर करते हैं, उधर जाने के जगह होटल में ठहरने के लिए 750 rupees. Then internally, suppose you are sent on tour to Mumbai, hotel stay के लिए, guest house stay के लिए, you will be getting 750 rupees per day. And for travel within the local limits on duty, उसके लिए 225. And for food, 800 rupees. This is the amount a person of the level of level 6 to 8 ये रेट है. वो कोई वाउचर वगैरह की जरूरत नहीं है. सो इट इज जस्ट लाइक रीइंबर्समेंट. तो इसमें टूर में क्या क्या रीइंबर्समेंट होता है? रीइंबर्समेंट ऑफ होटल चार्जेस, दैट इज स्टे करने का चार्ज. फॉर लेवल्स 8 and below, the amount of claim may be paid without production of vouchers against self-certified claim only. आजकल वो वाउचर देखकर रीइंबर्स करने के बाद चला गया है. रेलवे में पहले से ही ऐसा है रेलवे एम्प्लॉइज के लिए. you just give a declaration that I stayed from this date to this date in hotel room number such and such. That detail you have to give. The self-certified claim should clearly indicate the period of stay, name of dwelling, that is which hotel you stayed. Additionally, for stay in class 10, that is X cities, that is cosmopolitan cities, the ceiling for all employees up to level 8 would be 1,000 rupees per day, higher rate. But it will only be in the form of reimbursement upon production of relevant vouchers. 800 रुपया तक तो वाउचर की जरूरत नहीं है. Suppose you are going to make a higher rate, then you will have to give this voucher. Reimbursement of traveling charges, similar to reimbursement of staying accommodation charges for level 11 and below, the claim may be paid without production of vouchers against a self-certified claim only. The self-certified claim should clearly indicate the period of travel, vehicle number. That is local travel के लिए जो भी पैसा मिलता है, that the 225 rupees, उसके लिए you have to just mention, मैं इधर से उधर गया था, उसके लिए ये टैक्सी एंगेज किया था, and that will be enough. Then reimbursement of food charges. This is actually DA बोला जाता है, percentage of DA बोला जाता है, that is this only, this amount. Reimbursement of food charges. There would be no separate reimbursement of food bills. Instead, the lump sum in our category 800 rupees जो है, instead the lump sum amount payable will be as per table 1 above, and depending on the length of absence from headquarters would be regulated as per table 7 below. Since the concept of reimbursement has been done away with, no vouchers will be required. This methodology is in line with that followed by Indian Railways at present. That is lump sum amount payable. Now, what is the DA rate? In the absence, if the absence from headquarters is less than 6 hours, then 30% of lump sum amount. What is that? Suppose you are this is calculated from midnight to midnight. So suppose you are leaving by 5 o'clock in the morning on a particular day, and you are coming by 11 o'clock in the morning itself. So you will get 30% of 800 rupees. Then If the absence from headquarters is between 6 hours to 12 hours, then 70%. Then if the absence is more than 12 hours, because the rate is full rate is for 24 hours, midnight to midnight. But if you stay in a touring station for more than 12 hours, you will get full DA. Absence from headquarters will be reckoned from midnight to midnight and will be calculated on a per day basis. In case of stay, journey on government ships, boats, etc., or journey to remote places on foot, mules, etc., for scientific data collection, the DA will be paid at rate equivalent to that provided for reimbursement of food bill. That is 800 rupees in our case. You wait, Manju. You wait. That question will be answered, a part of the lecture. Daily DA will be paid at a rate equivalent to that provided for reimbursement of food bill. That is actually called DA. However, in this case, the amount will be sanctioned irrespective of actual expenditure incurred on this account with the approval of head of the department. Suppose you are going to remote places, then in that case, special rates, whatever you spend, that will be sanctioned by the head of the department. DA rates for foreign travel will be regulated by Ministry of External Affairs. Daily allowance is admissible only at half rate for local journey. That is, if you are traveling within the municipal limits, then it will be treated as local journey and you will get only half DA. Half DA means whatever is entitled for normally. Suppose you are traveling to a station which is 30 kilometers away, then for that you will be entitled to that 30% of full DA and all that. 800 में 30%. So ऐसा है. Local journey means उसमें half मिलेगा. 30% means 15%. 70% means 35%. ऐसा. For enforced halt en route treated as duty due to breakdown of communications caused by flood, rain, etc., DA is admissible. Suppose आपको टूर कंप्लीट करके वापस आ रहे हैं, you have completed a tour to Patna and you are coming back to Delhi, बीच में बाढ़ आ गया या कुछ कारण से वो train communication, other communications all cut off. In that case, you are forcefully, you had to stay in between. So that will be treated as tour and you will get allowances, DA. DA is admissible. DA is admissible for a period of absence at tour station, regularized as special care. अगर वो ऐसा DA तो मिल जाएगा, पैसा मिल जाएगा. That what about that period? That period will be treated as special cash only. No DA is admissible for Sundays and holidays unless the employee is actually in camp and not merely constructively. इसका मतलब you are on tour from 1st January to 15th January. इस बीच में 2 Sunday, Saturday आता है. Those Sundays and Saturdays, if you are staying there in that place, you will get DA. If you are not staying there, you have gone on your own to some other place, then you are not entitled for this. Or you are availing 1 day CL, you are not entitled for DA. For the purpose of this decision, इसके लिए एक छूट है. For the purpose of the decision, it is enough if the government servant spends at least a portion of the particular Sunday or holiday in camp. इसका मतलब क्या है? Suppose I go on tour to Coimbatore. From there, I go to Ooty on my private trip. If I go on Friday evening and come on Monday morning, no DA for Saturday, Sunday. But I leave for Ooty by the morning. 8 बजे मॉर्निंग 8 बजे बस में मैं ऊटी चला जाता हूँ. Then I stay there. Night, overnight also I stay there. Next day, I come back by 4 p.m. Now what happens? Part of Saturday, I was available in the touring station, Coimbatore. And part of Sunday, I returned, I stayed in Coimbatore. So it will be treated as if you were staying there in Coimbatore touring station on 2 days. On both these days, full DA you will get. Full DA you will get. It is calculated on calendar day basis, that is midnight to midnight. Maximum 1 day, 1 DA for day. इसको मतलब क्या है? Suppose one person went on tour. He returns from the tour to headquarters by 8 a.m. That means from midnight to 8 a.m. it is more than 6 hours. So I am entitled for 70%. Then I am going on another tour by 3 p.m. So from 3 p.m. to midnight, here more than 6 hours. So entitled for 70%. So 70%, 70% adding, it will be 1.4 DA मिलना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है. It is treated as separate tour, no doubt. एक टूर से वापस ऑडिट पार्टी के साथ ऐसा होता है. ये ऑडिट पार्टी में फ्रीक्वेंटली ट्रैवल होता है. दैट इज एक टूर से वापस आया at 8 o'clock in the morning. अनदर टूर में बाहर गया 3 o'clock in the evening. तो दोनों के लिए डीए तो मिलेगा, बट नॉट 70%, 70%, बिकॉज फॉर वन फुल डे you cannot have more than 1 DA. On that analogy, you will be entitled for 50% DA in the first tour and 50% DA in the second tour. That's all. Because one day, well, there cannot be more than 1 DA. If on account of holiday, at either end of the tour, a government servant starts from headquarters. This is what Manju asked. This is what she asked. If on account of, ये क्या है? 2 आदमी को एट ए टाइम टूर में भेजा जाता है. दिल्ली से 2 आदमी को भेजा जाता है. One to Meerut, the other one to Chennai. The Chennai fellow left by train by Friday evening. And the Meerut fellow also left by train or bus. He also left by Friday evening. When he comes and submits bill, the controlling officer will allow the Chennai fellow, because to reach Chennai, it will take 2 days. इसलिए उसको बाहर निकलना, फ्राइडे में निकलना ठीक है. लेकिन मीरठ वाला मंडे मॉर्निंग निकलने से ऑफिस टाइम से पहले उधर पहुंच सकता है. So in his case, those DA for Saturday and Sunday will not be allowed. इसी तरह कोई उधर से आने के समय, the fellow from Chennai, he returns. If he leaves by Friday or Saturday, he will be able to reach Delhi by Monday morning. So he will be entitled for DA for those traveling time also. Whereas the Meerut man, even if he leaves by Monday morning, he can reach. But Saturday, Sunday, the DA will not be given by the controlling officer, because it's not necessary he should leave that in advance or late. While going in advance and coming late, उनके लिए नहीं दे सकता. Tour ends when the government servant returns to headquarters. If the second tour commences on the same day on which the government servant returns from the first tour, the 2 tours may be treated separately for the purpose of calculation of DA, subject to the condition that a DA so calculated should not exceed 1 DA. Actually, though tour, just as I explained, one tour concluded by 8 a.m. because he reached The touring official reached the headquarters, his headquarters, at 8 a.m. Tour concluded. But another tour started in the evening, 3 o'clock. Then that is a separate tour. But for the purpose of calculating DA for that day, both should be added and only one DA will be entitled. Any period of leave, including casual leave, for which no DA is admissible, availed by the government servant, not constitute a break in continuity of holiday. ये क्यों बोला जाता है? Because a person who is on tour for 180 days or 190 days, for up to 180 days, he will be entitled for full DA. After 180 days, he will not be entitled for any DA, though he will be on tour, official tour, but maximum attested only 180 days. Then in between, that fellow takes 1 day casual leave. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है this is on completion of 90 days he takes 1 day casual leave. That doesn't mean his stay will be calculated afresh. First 90 days के लिए पूरा DA मिलेगा, then एक दिन break हो गया, then उसके बाद फिर शुरुआत from 92nd day the tour starts, another 180 days तक वो मिलेगा, ऐसा नहीं. The 1 day break, 2 day breaks के लिए, that is not called a break. It will be treated as a continuous stay of 180 days for calculation of DA. If there is continuous halt during the tour or training or temporary transfer at places outside the government servants' headquarters, daily allowance will be regulated as follows. First 180 days, full DA. Beyond 180 days, no DA. When an officer travels by road in his own car, but between places connected by rail, his tour TA is limited to what would have been admissible had the officer traveled by rail in the highest entitled class of accommodation available in that route. If, however, any public interest was served by such journey, such as inspection en route, etc., the competent authority may allow mileage allowance by road. Daily allowance for the period of absence from headquarters will be admissible. Suppose it happened in Ladakh. One assistant director, that is equivalent under secretary, he was entitled to fly from Leh to Srinagar. Lekin he was going on tour, but he went by office jeep. उधर जोंगा बोलते हैं, जोंगा में गए थे, तो 2 दिन लगता है जोंगा में जाने से. तो the question was raised by the headquarters. Why? When you are entitled to go by air, that will be much cheaper. When you go by Jonga, you will take the driver also. He is also entitled for DA, TADA. Then आपको भी 2 दिन का TADA देना है, ड्राइवर को भी देना है, और halt in between 1 दिन आप कारगिल में ठहरे थे, उसको भी DA देना है. So this officer mentioned in his reply that I inspected the Kargil office and sent a inspection note to headquarters. So उसको दोनों दिन का DA मिला है by road जाने का. So if there is a public interest served, then he can be granted. When a government servant returns daily to his headquarters while on tour to an outstation, due to non-availability of proper accommodation, etc., to suit the convenience, he may draw daily allowance on all days on which he performs duty. Suppose एक official मीरठ से दिल्ली टूर में जाता है, दिल्ली को, मीरठ to Delhi, daily he goes. One way he will get mileage allowance from Meerut to Delhi, and every day he is coming back to Meerut. That he will not get mileage allowance, but he will get for full stay daily allowance मिलेगा. लेकिन one time first visit दिल्ली को गया, then last visit दिल्ली से मेरठ आया, उसको मिलेगा. then in between DA continuous मिलेगा, लेकिन in between सब ये ऐसा स्थिति क्यों आता है? He has to give explanation that suitable accommodation is not available. Why? So you are giving only 750 rupees for hotel stay. This with this amount, he will not be able to get any accommodation there. होटल अकोमोडेशन उसको सूटेबल अकोमोडेशन 750 में नहीं मिलता है. So he is coming back daily because he has got his house there. But in between जो Saturday Sunday आया है, that naturally you would not have gone to Delhi on those Saturdays and then you will not get DA for that. Okay. Then DA, when government servant is provided with free boarding and lodging, simply is that तो क्या किस लिए टीए मिलता है? तो 2 टीए में क्या क्या मिलता है? फॉर हिज गोइंग माइलेज अलाउंस, फॉर हिज स्टे दैट इज होटल रेट, फॉर हिज ट्रैवल विद इन दैट टाउन, देन डेली अलाउंस दैट इज द फूड चार्जेस, ये सारा मिलना है. अगर स्टे करने का और फूड चार्जेस दोनों फ्री मिल जाता है, बोर्डिंग एंड लॉजिंग दोनों फ्री मिल जाता है, देन इन दैट केस व्हाट इज लेफ्ट? The local journey, if at all local journey, then you will get that transport to meet that transport, that 225 May, whatever claim you are making, that you will get. 2 tier advance, an amount sufficient to cover. एक महीना का सपोज लॉन्ग टूर में एक आदमी जाता है, 1 महीना स्टे करने के लिए कितना अमाउंट मिलता है, कितना कर उसको एंटाइटल्ड अमाउंट है, that amount, an amount sufficient to cover the official's personal traveling expenses for a month, that is daily allowance, road, rail, airfare for journeys both ways, ये मिलेगा advance. Suppose in the case of prolonged tour in the interior to places difficult to access, an amount sufficient for 1.5 months, 6 weeks, वो मिलेगा. But इतना advance लेने से, then you have to submit the bill within 15 days after return to headquarters. If you don't take advance, you can submit the bill within 60 days. Second advance is now ordinarily not sanctioned. Normally, एक advance देने से उसको bill on return, you will submit the bill within 15 days. Thereafter, you can apply for another advance for the next tour. लेकिन ऑडिट पार्टी जैसा है, तो ये आज आया, आज ही गया. तो ऐसा केस में the money you have given as advance, that is already over. वो 1 महीना का ही advance दिए थे. Now they are sent on another tour. तो उसके लिए you can ask for a second advance also. Second advance is not ordinarily sanctioned until an account is rendered for the first advance. It could, however, be sanctioned if an official is frequently required to proceed on tours. Tour key advances should be adjusted from TA bill or by recovery within 15 days from the completion of tour or the date on which the government servant resumes duty after completion of tour. अगर advance लेकर गया टूर पे, वापस आने पर 15 दिन के अंदर आपको ये बिल सबमिट करना है. Heads of offices may sanction this advance to government servants under their administrative control. Head of office can sanction this advance, 2T advance. Officers who are their own controlling officer, ऐसा होता है, for TA purpose, controlling officer declare करना होता है. Normally the head of office is declared as a controlling officer for TA purpose. Sometimes it is ordered, in the order itself it will be mentioned that he will be controlling officer for TA purpose for all the staff working under him. One full stop. He will be controlling officer for himself too. That is next sentence. That means he will sign all that, he will countersign all the TA bills of staff, officers and the staff working in that office. That is one. अपना टीए बिल वो खुद कहीं टूर में जाते हैं, उसका क्लाइम का जगह एक सिग्नेचर और कंट्रोलिंग ऑफिसर का जगह अनदर सिग्नेचर, वो करके उसको एडवांस भी खुद कुछ सैंक्शन कर सकते हैं. Then TA for local journeys. If a government servant undertakes local journeys beyond 8 kilometers from duty point at headquarters and within the limits of suburban or other municipalities, notified areas or cantonment contiguous to the municipality, corporation of the town or city, he will be entitled for mileage allowance plus half of the daily allowance admissible, irrespective of whether the journey is performed from office or residence of the government servant. Local journey means the journey you are undertaking on official duty from the place where normally you work. Suppose my office is in Delhi. दिल्ली में कहीं 8 किलोमीटर से बाहर जाना है. Then within the city limits, the municipal limits, उसके अंदर. So that is called local limit. Local travel, local journey. उसमें travel that mileage allowance, उसका मतलब क्या है? आप बस में ही जाएंगे या स्कूटर में जाएंगे या that is called mileage allowance. Then that will be given. But the daily allowance जो है, that you will not get full daily allowance. Only 50% you will get. If he is provided with free conveyance for local journeys, only daily allowance will be granted. For journeys within a distance of 8 kilometers from the residence, if performed by bus, etc., fare will be paid. That is normally 8 kilometers से कम वाला इसको daily allowance नहीं मिलता है. Only actual fare, bus fare, वो भी अगर white line बस में जाएंगे then ticket produce करना पड़ेगा. DA for local journeys. For local journey beyond 8 kilometers, the following may be admissible. Hotel accommodation, no question. Then travel within the city, mileage allowance as per his eligibility. Food charges, 50% of the amount payable on tour. So अपना category level 6 to 8, 800 rupees मिलना है. उसमें suppose you are staying for a time more than 12 hours. लेकिन it is a local journey. 8 kilometers से 16 kilometers के अंदर. Overnight you are not staying, but you are traveling within that local limits. In that case, you will get 50% of whatever is entitled. In the if absence from headquarters is less than 6 hours, 15% of, because normally you are entitled for 30%. Now only half you will be getting, then it is 15%. If the absence from headquarters is 6 to 12 hours, normally 70% milega, 70% of the food charges, that is called this lump sum amount जो है, that 800 rupees is 70%. उसमें here local journey के लिए 35%. If the absence from headquarters is more than 12 hours, then 50% of lump sum. No mileage allowance for local journeys made from duty point at tour station. उधर जाने के बाद, suppose you are going on tour to some other place, उधर mileage allowance नहीं मिलेगा. Time limit for submission of TA claims. Time limit for submission of TA claim has been changed from 1 year to 60 days, succeeding the date of completion of the journey. 60 दिन के अंदर देना चाहिए, otherwise you will lose. TA while on training. Training में जाने से, India में training में भेजा जाता है, then what will be your entitlement? When a government servant is deputed to undergo a course of training in India, he is entitled to draw TADA as of tour. आपको ट्रेनिंग में भेजा जाता है. मद्रास में काम करने वाला आदमी को दिल्ली में CBI हेडक्वार्टर्स दिल्ली में ट्रेनिंग में भेजा जाता है. Then it will be treated as tour and he will be entitled for TADA. उसमें when boarding and lodging not provided, अपना खुद का अरेंज करना है, or you will pay and avail, ऐसा कुछ है, मेस है, कुछ है उसमें, then you are not provided with boarding and lodging facility, then it will be 180 days full DA, beyond 180 days, no DA. In case boarding and lodging is given free, in that case, how much? First 30 days full DA, then next 150 days only half DA, beyond 180 days, then you will get nothing. The government servant has the option to draw either TA as on tour, as on transfer, or tour TA plus DA for the first 180 days if available, if the training exceeds 180 days. ऐसा दोनों में, because any posting or any tour or duty, I mean, any duty beyond 180 days, that can be treated as to a transfer. If it is less than 180 days, it is called temporary transfer and it will be equivalent to tour. टूर में क्या क्या मिलता है ऐसा ही इसमें भी मिलेगा. No TADA is admissible for training. Suppose I am working in RK-पुरम ऑफिस, बट मेरे को ट्रेनिंग में भेजा जाता है देवनगर. देवनगर is very much within the city, but it is very, very far. Maybe it is 40 kilometers from RK-पुरम. तो उधर इतना दूर होने से भी कुछ एक्स्ट्रा अलाउंस नहीं मिलेगा, बिकॉज द ट्रेनिंग इज विद इन दी सिटी. इफ थियरिटिकल ट्रेनिंग 180 डेज लिमिट जो है, इफ द ट्रेनिंग इज पार्टली प्रैक्टिकल, partly theoretical, in that case you will get 180 days full DA in the practical training and another 180 days for theoretical training. For instance, a sub-inspector recruit, a sub-inspector of the CBI, he joins the training institute of the CBI, which is in Lodi complex. That 180 days uska chal raha hai, full DA he will get. Afterwards, physical training, that is in CBI Academy in Ghaziabad. So that will be again another 180 days separately calculated. So theoretical training and practical training alag-alag place mein hota hai, then in that case you will get 180 days. That will be treated as a separate training. If theoretical training and practical training are given in two different stations, DA in the second station will commence afresh, irrespective of whether DA was drawn for 180 days or less in the first station. If both the theoretical and practical trainings are at the same station, DA will be admissible for the first 180 days only. Thereafter, no DA. An official on training at a particular station goes on tour to another station. हाँ, अगर आपको दिल्ली में ट्रेनिंग में भेजा जा रहा है, from a person working in Madras, he goes to Delhi for training. He is on training for 200 days. इस बीच में suppose he is taken on tour to Agra. Such trips also calculated, that is inclusive in those 180 days. Then probationers, the following rules govern. That is already we have seen. Probationer is sent for training. Then to go to training center, no DA. During the training period, if he is taken to some other station, he has to bear the cost, no DA, no TADA. Then on completion of training, he is coming to join duty, then that return journey के लिए पैसा मिलेगा. Transfer DA. Transfer means movement of a government servant from one station to another to join a new post or due to change of his headquarters. Transfer can be in public interest or on one's own request. No transfer fee is paid for request transfers. पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट में जिसको ट्रांसफर मिलता है उसको ट्रांसफर टीए मिलता है. इफ इट इज रिक्वेस्ट ट्रांसफर देन उसके लिए कोई ट्रांसफर टीए नहीं मिलता है. डेफिनेशन ऑफ फैमिली फॉर ट्रांसफर, ये आपको याद रखना होगा. डेफिनेशन ऑफ फैमिली फॉर ट्रांसफर टीए, स्पाउस रिसाइडिंग विद द गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट. लेकिन पहले डिपेंडेंट स्पाउस ऐसा था, वो निकाल दिया गया है. डिपेंडेंट, एवरी स्पाउस इज सपोज टू बी डिपेंडेंट. तो इसलिए spouse residing with, if she or he is residing with the government servant, then he is family member. Parents, stepmother, minor brother, unmarried sister, legitimate children, stepchildren residing with and wholly dependent on the government servant. Major sons and legally adopted children residing with and wholly dependent are also included. लेकिन major brothers, stepfather are not included. Children taken as wards under Guardian and Wards Act, they are also part of family. Married daughter, if divorced, abandoned, or separated from her husband and residing with and financially dependent on the parent, then she is family member. Widowed sisters residing with and wholly dependent on the government servant when father is not alive or he himself is dependent on the government servant. Father खुद dependent on the government servant, ये इनको dependent माना जाएगा. From 1/1/1999, only 2 children will be entitled to transfer TA benefits. Following are the exceptions. In the following cases, even if the children are more than 2, then they are entitled. Children born up to 31/12/1998, अगर उससे पहले पैदा हुआ चिल्ड्रन को तीन बच्चे 4 बच्चे हो तब भी that is family member. Employees with no or that is no or one issue, एक ही बच्चा था लेकिन दूसरा डिलीवरी पर वो डुप्लीकेट दैट इज ट्विन चिल्ड्रन हुआ या ट्रिपलेट हुआ है, तीन बच्चे एक साथ. तो ऐसा केस में that restriction of 2 children that will not be applicable. Children studying in educational institutions away from the parents at the time of transfer but joining the parents at the time of vacation are treated as members of family. पहले तो ट्रांसफर मिल गया दिल्ली टू मुंबई, सो उनका फैमिली मेंबर सबको एक साथ ट्रांसफर टी मिल जाता है. लेकिन एक बच्चा, द एल्डेस्ट सन इज स्टडीइंग इन चंडीगढ़, वो उस समय ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाएगा जस्ट बिकॉज फादर गॉट ए ट्रांसफर टू मुंबई. ही विल नॉट अननेसेसरीली ट्रैवल. उसका कॉलेज एजुकेशन के वो ही विल स्टे ओनली व्हेन देयर इज लीव, puja holidays or summer holidays, he will go and join the family. In that case, he will also be part of the family, though he is not traveling along with the other members of the family. He will also be part of the family. Then transfer TA comprises of, transfer TA बोलने से क्या क्या मिलता है उसमें. Composite transfer grant, पहले मेरा जमाने पर 100%, that is previously what you were drawing or at the time of your transfer, what was your basic pay, that is given as composite transfer grant. Now it is only 80% of what you are getting. Composite transfer grant equal to 80% of last month's basic pay. No other adds-on should be allowed in basic pay while calculating composite transfer grant. Suppose somebody is getting NPA, somebody is getting special allowance or special pay, all these things should not be treated as pay for the purpose of calculating the composite transfer grant. That is only 80% 80% of the last month जो भी basic pay draw किए थे वो. It's not admissible if no change of residence is involved. Suppose आपको local transfer है, locally you are transferred even if the distance is more than 20 kilometers, but there is no question of transfer, I mean a change of residence. So in that case no composite transfer grant वो नहीं मिलेगा. Actual fare for the government servant, one component is composite transfer grant, that is 80% of last month जो भी basic pay थे था उसमें 80%, that is one. Number two, actual fare for the government servant and members of family. तो travel करने के rail fare or air fare, whatever is your entitlement, that fare you will get. Road mileage for journey by road, not connected by. Suppose you are getting a transfer to Srinagar, Delhi to Srinagar. Up to Jammu, you will go by train. Afterwards, compulsorily, you will be going by bus or road. And then in that case, road mileage. Cost of transportation, a personal effect. Personal effect means घर का सामान, वो personal effect होता है. Then cost of transportation of personal conveyance. अपना कार, 4-wheeler, 2-wheeler वगैरह, that is personal conveyance. उसका transport करने का. Suppose a person has car as well as a scooter. तो scooter को एक सामान का साथ डाल दीजिएगा. Then in that case, that will be part of your personal effect. And car separately for transportation of that car you will get. One additional fare to and fro for government servant. That is government servant को 3 fare मिलेगा एक transfer पर. The एक ऐसा, that is first time he will go alone. Most of the cases ऐसे होता है. नया जगह है, एक उधर जाने के बाद accommodation नहीं मिलने से कहाँ stay करना है. So most of the departments will have their own guest house. If there is a space, then for temporarily for a week or 10 days. But uncertainty family ke saath, that is not conducive. So you will go alone. The government servant will go alone to fix up accommodation or apply for government quarters and then come back to pick up the family. So उसके लिए खुद का एक ट्रिप पहले, then वापस आकर फैमिली के साथ एक ट्रिप. सो 3 वो मिलेगा. One additional fare to and fro for the government servant if he had to leave his family behind due to non-availability of government accommodation at the new station. Officials who could not take family members along with him or her on their second trip due to genuine reasons are also entitled to additional to and fro fare by the entitled class. An employee whose family does not accompany him to the new station while joining on transfer has an option to claim for him either for the first journey undertaken to join the new post or for the journey subsequently undertaken along with the family. तो खुद का पहले टी क्लेम पहले भी कर सकते हैं, बाद में फैमिली के साथ जाने के समय उनके साथ ये क्लेम कर सकते हैं. While the grade of the government servant is determined with reference to the facts on the date of transfer. Date of transfer में क्या grade में थे, that will be your rank. Then the number of fares admissible is to be determined with reference to facts on the date of journey. Number of fare कितना family member कितना है, तो that will be according to the date of journey. लेकिन एक बात है, तो ट्रांसफर ऑर्डर आने के बाद कुछ additional बच्चा पैदा हुआ है, then you cannot claim that fare. If it is train journey, there is no question because the newborn child, they will not, there won't be any charge. But if it is air journey, they will charge. So even for newborn child, so इसके लिए you will not get that. At the same station, suppose the transfer is in the same station. So Delhi से Delhi, लेकिन Delhi is a very big city है. So if it is local transfer, no transfer TA if no change of residence is involved. Transfer TA नहीं मिलेगा residence में change नहीं आने से. If there is a compulsory change of residence solely due to transfer के वास्ते compulsorily I am required to shift my residence. In that case, actual cost of conveyance for self and family. So suppose you are going by taxi or public transport, that actual fare, whatever you spend, actual cost of conveyance for self and family limited to road mileage, and actual cost of transportation of personal effect. घर चेंज हुआ है इसलिए पर्सनल इफेक्ट को इधर से उधर शिफ्ट करने पर तो हाउस होल्ड आर्टिकल्स को दैट यू विल गेट. एंड देन कॉम्पोजिट ट्रांसफर ग्रांट में 1/3, दैट इज लास्ट मंथ बेसिक पे से 80% जो है कॉम्पोजिट ट्रांसफर करके नॉर्मल में मिलता है. If it is a local transfer, compulsorily requirement of change of residence is there, then you will get 1/3 of that 80 composite transfer grant. Between two stations within the short distance, two stations में है, दिल्ली से बाहर है, लेकिन it is a very short distance only. In that case, if the distance between both the stations does not exceed 20 kilometers, so it is no doubt a transfer, but the distance is only less than 20 kilometers, but involves a change of residence. Change of residence is compulsorily isko karna padega. Then full transfer TA and composite transfer grant of 1/3 of 80% of basic pay. That you will get, because the basic requirement is shifting of residence was compulsory, so you are entitled for this transfer grant, 1/3 of transfer grant. No transfer TA is if no change of residence involved. Simply अगर transfer local हो या within short distance हो, but there is no necessity for your change of residence, in that case you there is no TA. No TA will be entitled. Advance of transfer TA. ट्रांसफर TA जाने के लिए one transfer TA advance मिलेगा, another pay advance मिलेगा. Advance of an amount of 80% of TA as admissible on transfer for self and family, drawn either in one installment or separately for self and for family in 2 installments. Employees under orders of transfer, including those on leave, are eligible for advance. That is, suppose you are going on transfer, you will get it. Suppose you are on leave, during that period you are getting a transfer, then also you will get advance. Those proceeding on foreign service from in India, that is, you are going on deputation or foreign service, that is going to another organization where you will get pay from some other fund, not from Consolidated Fund of India, that is foreign posting. Then in that foreign service, in that case, you will get a transfer TA, a transfer TA advance. Head of office or any other subordinate officer to whom powers have been delegated may sanction advance on transfer. Such a competent authority may sanction such advance for himself also. If that person, that official, that officer is declared as controlling officer for himself also, then he can sanction, he can grant that TA advance, transfer TA advance to himself also. A second advance of TA may be drawn at the new station in respect of family members who follow him within the limit. Suppose a transfer, you are transferred from Delhi to Patna. पहले आप खुद गए को रिपोर्ट कर लिया. You have taken advance only for yourself, and you are shifting your family within 1 year. That time you need advance. That time the previous office will not give, Delhi office will not give, because now you are employee of Patna office. So now Patna office has to sanction advance. Temporary transfer. Any transfer for a period of less than 180 days, that is temporary transfer. In all cases of transfers for a short period not exceeding 180 days, the journeys from headquarters to the station of deputation and back will be treated as on tour and daily allowance will be granted for the first 180 days. तो 180 दिन के लिए आपको कोई भी नॉमेनक्लेचर से बुलाइए, that is you call it as temporary transfer or call it as tour. The benefit, monetary benefit is the same. That is, you will get a TADA, such just like a tour. Joining time is not admissible. Usme it is a temporary transfer, so joining time ka question doesn't arise. Only actual transit time as for tour is allowed. जैसे टूर में मिलता है इतना ये एक्चुअल ट्रांसिट टाइम मिलेगा. नो एडवांस ऑफ पे. ट्रांसफर होने से, नॉर्मल ट्रांसफर होने से you are entitled for transfer T advance as well as pay advance. But in this case, temporary transfer less than 180 days, then you will not get pay advance. If a transfer originally made for a period of more than 180 days is reduced to 180 days or less later, the transfer TA claim originally allowed should not be changed to the disadvantage of the government servant. Which is beneficial? Which is beneficial? The transfer TA is beneficial. It is more than tour TA. तो एक आदमी को ट्रांसफर, इट इज अ रेगुलर ट्रांसफर किया गया था, लेकिन वो लेटर ऑन फॉर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रीजंस उसको टेम्पररी ट्रांसफर माना गया है. दैट इज ही इज कॉल्ड बैक, पोस्टेड बैक टू द ओरिजिनल हेडक्वार्टर्स बिफोर कंप्लीशन ऑफ 180 days. Then in that case, he would have drawn transfer grant, that is composite transfer grant, apna fare, saman utaya, that cost, and transportation of personal effect. Personal, not only personal effect, personal transport. अपना गाड़ी को भी उठाया होगा. तो ये सारा कुछ क्लेम कर दिया. Now you are converting your own administrative reasons, you are making it as temporary transfer. You are calling him before completion of 180 days. In that case, उसको tour TA ही मिलना है. If it is less than 180 days, he is entitled only an amount equal to tour TA. But what he has enjoyed is transfer TA. तो ऐसा केस में उसको नुकसान है. तो उसको नुकसान, उसका गलती नहीं है, इसलिए उसका नुकसान नहीं आने देना है. No recovery should be made. Ulta. If a temporary transfer originally made for a period of 180 days or less is later extended beyond 180 days, the TA already drawn shall be adjusted in the transfer TA claim, but daily allowance is admissible only up to the date of issue of revised orders. क्या पहले इसको टेम्पररी ट्रांसफर, दैट इज टूर में भेजा गया था उसको, लेटर ऑन उसी स्टेशन को उसको ट्रांसफर ही कर दिया गया है. सो इन दैट केस व्हाट विल हैपन? ही हैज ऑलरेडी ड्रॉन TADA वगैरह, टूर TA उसको मिल गया है. सपोज इट इज 160 days वो उधर टूर में रह गया, लेकिन अभी it is extended as a regular transfer. In that case, that जिस दिन order revised वो टूर को ट्रांसफर जब बना दिया गया है, that date, up to that date, whatever DA he has got, that's all. Beyond that DA should not be paid. But transfer TA will be much more than this. So उससे whatever he has already drawn, that will be adjusted and the balance paid. When both the husband and wife are transferred, both are government servant, both are working in Delhi, both are transferred to Mumbai. Then one will be treated as family member. Suppose one is a deputy secretary, the other one is section officer. Wife is section officer and husband is a deputy secretary. So both are transferred from Delhi to Mumbai. So the deputy secretary, that is beneficial to them. Deputy secretary will make the claim. He will take the advance. He will include all these. He will claim all claims, transfer claims for family members, treating that section officer, wife as a part of the family. But the transfer is not simultaneous. The places are the same. दिल्ली से दोनों को ट्रांसफर मिलता है मुंबई को, but first that husband who is deputy secretary got transfer. He has gone, but wife and other children, they are in Delhi. In that case, the wife gets a transfer again. Wife gets transfer after 60 days. After 60 days. Then in that case, that full transfer nahi milega. Only 50%. Second transfer ko 50%. But she is transferred within 60 days. Husband first transfer ho gaya, within 60 days, she gets a transfer. Wife, she is also a government servant. Then in that case, nothing, no additional thing. She will be part of that. 60 दिन के अंदर दूसरा transfer होने से, she will be treated as part of the family. If it is more than 60 days but less than 6 months, then it will be 50% transfer grant वगैरह मिलेगा. Then after 6 months, same Delhi से मुंबई को ही transfer मिलता है, but after 6 months, then that will be a separate transfer. First transfer में husband को जो मिला है, that will be a separate transfer. And the second transfer, she is getting as section officer, she will get full whatever entitled that she will get. TA to retiring government servants. Traveling allowance as on transfer, as detailed below, will be granted to a retiring government servant when he settles down in a station other than Delhi में retire होकर दिल्ली में ही settle करना है. Then in that case, this is not entitled. सब दिल्ली में retire होकर चंडीगढ़ में settle होना है. Then in that case, this transfer TA जैसा इनको मिलेगा. Composite transfer grant, that is equal to 80% of basic pay of previous month. Journey by rail, road, steamer, etc., air, etc., that milega. Then personal effects ka charges milega. Transport of personal conveyance, ye sara kuch milega. If you are settling after retirement, you are going to settle in a place other than the place you were working in. The retired employee and family may travel from the last headquarters to the declared hometown or to any other selected place of residence where he wishes to settle. It is not necessary. मैं एक मद्रासी हूँ. I am working in Delhi. After retirement, I need not necessarily come back to my hometown. जो LTC के लिए जो declare किया है उधर ही आना है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I may go and settle in some other place like Mumbai. Instead of going to my hometown, I may prefer to settle in Mumbai. मेरा friend जो पटना का है, he has, after retirement, he has come down to Hyderabad and settled there. So he is entitled to claim from Delhi to Hyderabad. The concession should be availed by the employee during leave preparatory to retirement or within 1 year of the date of retirement. Leave preparatory to retirement means up to 10 months you can take leave prior to retirement. That is called leave preparatory to retirement. वो कोई अलग चीज का leave नहीं है. Whatever leave entitled to you, that you are taking for preparation to retirement. So that during that period he can avail, or within 1 year after retirement, they can. Other conditions are, it is not admissible to government servant who resigns or dismissed. वो नहीं मिलेगा. ऑल्सो एडमिसिबल टू टेम्पररी गवर्नमेंट, 10 साल कंप्लीट करने वाला टेम्पररी गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट को ये मिलेगा. Claims of traveling allowance for family cannot be admitted until the retire. तो फैमिली मेंबर को क्लेम करना है तो गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट खुद नहीं, जब तक नहीं निकलता है उस समय तक ये फैमिली मेंबर सेपरेटली दे कैन नॉट क्लेम. Advance of traveling allowance is admissible only when journey performed during leave preparatory. अगर आप LPR में है, लीव प्रिपरेटरी टू रिटायरमेंट में है, then advance avail कर सकते हैं. Suppose you people are going to leave the old station within the limited given period of 1 year, then retire हो गया तो then no. The concession should be availed within 1 year from the date of retirement. Time limit वो extend कर पाएंगे. Head of the department has powers to extend that period. 1 साल के बाद भी आप उधर place of settlement को जा सकते हैं. Then TA to family of deceased employee, that we'll see in the next class. एक चीज है, so I'll be out of station tomorrow, so I won't be able to take class tomorrow. So there won't be any class tomorrow, and Sunday no class. So we'll be meeting only on Monday. Okay, good night.